Welcome everyone to Coaching the Session. My name is Michael Rearden and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about how powerful is our internal dialogue, our positive self-talk. And of course, we do have to talk about the negative self-talk too, so we can have a difference between. So today we're going to be talking about my most recent blog, Positive Self-Talk. And it is going to be a TUS series, so it's going to go in chronological order and it's going to break down why is it important, why we need it, and then how to get there too. So stay tuned for that. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And then as always, make sure to share this video to build a community of strong, growth-minded people. Now, when we get into the idea of positive self-talk, we might think of books when we were younger, of a character, a story, a situation where they had to give themselves some type of motivation. And when I was younger, it was going to be Thomas the Engine. And it was almost like, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And then it's, I know I can, I know I can, I know I can. And then it's, I can, I can, I can. He was able to say, well, there's a possibility. And as long as there's a possibility, I can do it. I'm doing it. I just have to keep going. So don't stop. I did it. I didn't stop. Now, there's a way that we can use positive self-talk to bring us up. And if we don't, and we just allow the negative self-talk to come in, then that's going to kind of bring us down. And that negative self-talk can be subconscious too. So let's get into the blog and then break that down. And then from there, we're going to bring back the discussion on positive self-talk. So you're going to want to head over to revenconcepts.com. We have a new website. Well, it's kind of new now. It's probably been up for a month. So check it out. Check all the new tabs and all of the good things. But today we're going to go over the resources, and then we're going to go to blogs, and then we're going to go to our most recent blog, which is going to be positive self-talk. And one of the first things that you're going to notice is that there's going to be 3 questions. The first question is going to be, what is positive self-talk? The second question is going to be, why do I have to worry about it? And then 3, how can I learn to love myself more? Now, positive self-talk is going to be the idea of how we communicate and how we think about ourselves. If we can be in a good understanding of who we are and have a good relationship with us, then the possibilities start to open up more. Many times people have doubts, fears, insecurities. All of those different things are going to make us not do something rather than do something. So in a situation would be, or a scenario perhaps, if I was going for a new job and I'm in the interview and I am saying, oh, wow, there's all these people in the interview that are better qualified than me, I'm just giving myself negative self-talk. What does that mean? I am not good enough. All these other people are better than me. I'm not good enough. I'm not adequate. And now I'm going to think and act in inadequacy. So I might not eat the right foods. I might not put the right material into my brain. There's so much more that comes from our internal dialogue than we are led to believe. And what I do as a mindset coach is the first process is I understand how you're thinking. Doesn't matter what type of coaching you're looking for. Whether you're looking for life coaching, we look at the mindset for that. You're looking at relationship coaching, we look at the mindset for that. Same thing for career, all the way down. How are you thinking right now? And we just make adjustments to how you would like to be. Because if I ask you how much money would you like, you might have a number. If I ask you, do you want to be happy? You'll probably say yes. If I ask you, would you like a certain type of food? You might say, well, I would like this type of certain food because this is my favorite. Now think of it in the opposite. What if I gave you a food that you didn't like, you hated? And I said, well, good luck. You have to eat this if you're hungry. Now you're going to resent. You're like, I hate this food. I don't want this. Relationships. You worry about the other person rather than learning about yourself. They're the reason I'm not happy. And we are victims to the circumstance or to their actions. And then in life, the same thing. Things can be cruel. Life can be cruel. But how we think about it, that's up to us. So that positive self-talk is going to be that internal dialogue of mindset. How can I be in a better place? What can I do to be better, be more, to live more abundantly? There's so many different things that we can adjust the mind to. And yes, we can use affirmations. I am going to do this. I have already done this. And then, of course, if you want to use will is something you can also use, but I am is going to be one of the most powerful ones. And I have, meaning you already claimed it. And then you might ask, well, why do I have to worry about positive self-talk? it's okay if I'm negative sometimes. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, because you might say it in a playful way. But the subconscious mind doesn't understand the difference between a playful way and then a negative, harsh way. For example, I might say, man, I'm just so stupid sometimes. And it's because maybe I made a mistake and I'm acknowledging that I'm stupid, that mistake was stupid. Now, let's break it down into two ways. One, the mistake was stupid. I'm like, I need to not do that again. And then the other one is, I make stupid mistakes. I'm stupid. It goes so much more to the subconscious mind, and depending how your mindset is going to be viewed in a different light. Same way as if your glass was half full or half empty. How are you viewing a term? Money doesn't grow on trees. How do you view that term? Money is not abundant, or money is abundant and I have to work for it. It's not readily available. I have to go earn it. There's two sides of a story. It's always interesting when I get people who come in for relationship coaching, whether they be married or just boyfriend and girlfriend, and we're talking, there's two sides of the story. So one person is thinking in one mindset and one person is thinking in another mindset, and that's where the disparity is. But if we apply positive self-talk to us and then toward the relationship, it becomes a lot easier to pay attention to the other person, to pay attention to ourselves. Because when we start to give ourselves that negative talk, this person doesn't do this person doesn't do that this is stupid, I don't know why they do this. It can go on. There's so many types of negativities that we can talk about. But positive self-talk is going to be saying, how can I be better? I am able to do something. We're boosting ourselves up, and it's not a motivator. This is definitely not a motivator. This is a rewiring of your brain. When you're telling yourself positive self-talk, eventually you're going to become positive. Think of it this way. If I had a cup of water and I had a glass of poison, eventually, if I keep pouring water into this glass, the poison will become diluted. Eventually, the water is going to reign supreme. That water is like the cleansing process. If you get a wound, you typically will cleanse it with water. And eventually, all the impurities, all the dirt will vanish, will go away. But that process has to be called something. So we're being mindful of that cleansing process, that positive self-talk. We are cleansing all of those impurities out of our mind, out of our body, and then allowing them just to go away. They might come back, but we understand the process. Let them go away again. And then we have to think about, well, why do I worry about it? And then how can I learn to love myself more? So we're going to dive into those two things right now. And right now you might think, well, I don't have to be positive. I can just get the things that I want in my life. I don't necessarily have to be positive. I can still be negative and get the things that I want. And I'm not going to say that you can't, because you can. You can be as negative as you want, and you can still probably get things in your life. You can be a jerk, still get a girl. You can be a snake and still get clients. There's many negative things or many connotations that we can label ourselves and still have a positive outlook in the end. But we have to ask ourselves long term, is this going to be good for me? And if we have the positive self-talk, typically it's going to be a good thing. Now, there might be some cons, but very few cons compared to the negative self-talk. We're trying to weigh the good and the bad. I'm worrying about the way I speak to myself is because I'm going to understand that if I speak to myself in a certain way, I'm going to resonate in a certain way. How I see the world is totally different than someone who hasn't been through mindset coaching. I'm maybe more positive, maybe more optimistic if you want to say that, but it's not so much optimism that runs me. It's just my viewpoint. If someone comes to me and they have a problem or they have a dilemma, there's a solution. I find solutions. I don't find excuses. That's the biggest difference between my mindset and many other people. If I'm late to something, I'm going to say, thank you for waiting for me. I'm not going to say, well, there was traffic. My car didn't start. I got a flat tire. Now, if they ask me why I was late, I would give them a reason, but it wasn't the excuse. I'm showing up, and if I'm late, thank you for waiting for me. Now, my alarm didn't go off. Stupid me, didn't set the alarm. All of those negative things, all those excuses that we don't necessarily need, we can bypass them. And as long as we can bypass them and not worry about them, then we can replace that worrying with something more positive. So then we get into the realm of how can we be more positive? What type of words do we use? Can we do it in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month? Depends, right? Depends on the person. Where are you? How much poison do you have in your glass? Because depending on how much poison you have in that glass, we have to take some time. And it's going to take a lot of water sometimes to dilute that poison. And it's going to be something that we can do. And we just have to make sure we don't keep adding poison to the glass, that negativity. Because if we think about negative emotions, anger, for example, anger hurts you more than it hurts them most of the time. Most of the time, anger is going to hurt you more. So we allow our emotions to run rampant and we don't control them. We allow our thoughts to run rampant and we don't control them. Our behaviors are going to be a representation of our thoughts. So if we're not having good behaviors, if we're not doing things that we're enjoying in our life, what should we be doing? We can be more positive, right? But how does that begin? How can I become more positive? The $1 million question. What I did to become more positive was to start to look at situations for more than what they are. One of the reasons why I'm so effective in my mindset coaching career is when people come to me, they tell me everything they want to tell me, and then I find the things that they didn't tell me. I look for the answers in between the words. That's emotional intelligence. That I'm able to see someone, even just hear their voice, and I can find all the answers without even getting the truth from their voice, from their own words. That's a higher level of thinking. And we all have that ability. It's just that not everyone's going to get there. So we have to ask ourselves, do we want to put in the work? Do we want to get more positive self-talk? Do we want to get into a better state of mind? If you're probably listening to this podcast, the answer is yes. You want to become more positive. You want to be in a better place in your life, better state of mind. But we have to put in the work. We have to replace our subconscious thinking, even our conscious thinking, with more nutritious and vibrant things. We have to say, I can do something. I will do something. I have been able to do it before. I am able. I can. Like all these different positive things that are going to shift our mind. And then, of course, you want to add mantras, you can. But we show up. We still show up. Because it's easy to say, I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. I am a millionaire. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. I am wealthy. And yeah, eventually it might come into existence. But how can we make sure that becomes certain, right? We need to make sure our subconscious can believe what we say in our conscious thoughts. Because typically our positive self-talk is going to be conscious. If I'm telling myself something good, I am wealthy, I am smart, I am handsome, I am beautiful. That's a conscious thought. But the subconscious mind knows you even more than your conscious thoughts. Your subconscious mind is going to say, hey, no, you're not. I know how much energy it's going to take. I know how much effort. You have said this before in the past, and nothing came about it. So it's not about just reciting some words, and all of a sudden we have this wonderful outcome where we're all millionaires and we're all billionaires and we all have successful careers. It doesn't happen just because we wish it into the universe. Similar to the law of attraction. Yeah, we can have our mind towards something. We're trying to get there, but it might never happen. And the reason why is because our subconscious mind is not allowing that. So the positive self-talk gets rid of that subconscious negative type of behavior. I'm just going to keep on compounding all this positive self-talk. And I'm also going to use positive self-talk to build other people up. My goal is not to kick someone when you're down. My goal is to help them up if they have fallen. My goal is to not laugh at someone if their crown is crooked. My goal is to fix it. So depending on how your outlook is in the whole scheme of life, we get a good understanding of how can we find more positive self-talk. And then that leads us to loving ourselves even more. Because now we're going to say, I am positive. I care about myself. And that goes into every aspect of your life. Not just mindset, not just relationships or your career or your money. Every crevice of your life is going to be changed because you were thinking in a more positive way. You are talking to yourself in a more delicate way. And it's not in no sense to make us fragile. It's to build us up. Similar to how metal is formed. It's put into hot fire and it's softened. And through the process of reforging and hammering, we are able to make something that's stronger. So yes, we have our positive self-talk and it softens us. And the world is going to try to harden us. All of that negativity. But every single time we become soft, we become hard. We become soft, we become hard. And then eventually we are going to become sturdy. Our mindset becomes fortified in the sense of resilient to all the negativities, where we're not going to start to think negative from the start. We're going to be more optimistic. And it's not pretending to be optimistic. It is truly optimistic. All right. I understand this situation is not good. I might be worried. I might be stressed, but I hope the outcome is better. There's no hope. It's not hope. We don't hope in mindset. We act. I don't leave my circumstances up to hope. I hope I win the lotto. I hope I'm successful. I hope people like me. No. First of all, if you don't like me, that's your fault. That's your problem. Second, why am I even worried about the circumstances or the outcomes? If it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. What do I think about it? What do I do about it? Many people, they get to a failure in their life, they get to a hardship, and they think it's the end of the road. I was reading a quote earlier today, and the quote said that the obstacles on your path are going to be a guide for you to go to the paths that you were always meant to be. And I think that is one of the most false quotes I've ever read in my life. Obstacles are meant to be broken. They're meant to be teared down. They're meant to be overcome, not avoided. Because everyone is going to choose the easy path. Oh, there's an obstacle here. What do? I'm going to go a different way. We need to get that sledgehammer. We need to knock that obstacle out of the park. We can do that. We're not going to just look for the easy way out. Positive self-talk is going to be encouraging us to take the higher road. Many people don't love themselves. Many people don't care about themselves. And you can look at their body image. You're not going to lie to yourself. You're not going to lie to your subconscious. When you look in the mirror, what do you think about yourself? Do you see anywhere you can make improvements? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, you probably have a mindset that's more negative. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't accept yourself. That's going to be furthest from the truth. But when you look in the mirror and you see yourself, you see someone saying, okay, how can I be better? Right? I'm going to be better. Positive is more. Would you rather have more money, positive money? Would you rather have negative money? Would you rather be losing money? Most people will say they would rather have positive money. Same thing with your mindset. Would you rather have a negative mindset or a positive mindset? When you look into the mirror, yes, you can accept yourself. I'm not saying don't accept yourself, because then that's in the realm of self-love. But understand, can you become more? And if the answer is yes, you're on the right path to getting into a more abundant life. If the answer is I'm looking at myself and this is my circumstance, or I'm already beautiful, then our mind is going to be stagnant. Our mind is not going to make any changes if it doesn't see anything that needs to be changed. That's why when people come to me, they say, hey, Michael, I had a trauma in my life. I had this challenge. I'm having this hardship. They wait until something is broken for me to fix it, rather than them saying, my life is going okay right now, but I would like to make it better. Because then when a challenge comes or when a trauma comes, I'm going to be able to handle it. And it begins with self-talk, positive self-talk. I'm going to do something. I am able to do something. I am going to be better. There's so much conversation that we have to have with ourselves, that internal dialogue, to get rid of that negativity and that negative subconscious. And yes, I can go on how positive self-talk is going to help you in your life. But getting back to our blog, we have already answered, well, what is positive self-talk? And that's going to be making us aware of how we communicate with ourselves. Why do I have to worry about it? Because if you're not positive, if you don't have positive self-talk, then our negative self-talk is going to take over. And that negative self-talk is going to mean inadequacy, is going to mean non-action. There's so much to that negative self-talk that's going to stop you rather than propel you. And then, of course, we learn how to have positive self-talk in the sense of, okay, well, let me pay attention to Zen stories. or meditate, or looking at positive relationships, or listening to positive stories. There are so many ways that we can strengthen our positive self-talk. And I actually do give some stories in the blog. So I do want you to read the blog to read those different stories on how to learn how to be more positive, that self-talk to be more positive. Because when you can have some good examples of getting the trash out of your brain and then putting in something more positive, then we're going to be on the right track to something good in our life. And not to say that your life is going to be miserable if you don't change into a positive self-talk. You can get by. Many people do. Many people walk around the world unhappy. Many people walk around the world with less, but they're satisfied because they don't understand what is out there. They don't understand there's more for them. And even if they did understand, they might be afraid to succeed. They might be afraid of trying. There's other ways that people fail that don't include them trying. Inaction. I don't have to go out and put myself out there. I'll just keep what I have. It's the same concept. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see someone who's growing, or do you see someone who's stuck? And when you can have that positive self-talk, no matter how stuck you are, eventually you will be able to climb out. You will be able to overcome any obstacle, any hardship, but it takes time, and it takes consistency, and it takes focus. So if you're looking for more focus, of course, head over to revenconcepts.com and we can get you into a better mindset, into a better positive state of mind. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach here in Austin, Texas. If you have any questions, you can email me coachinginsession@gmail.com, and I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone, take care.